Hello, my name is Obina Ozo Darlington from Nigeria, and I'm currently a teacher training student in Japan. I'm 29 years old. I think what makes one Japanese is, from my understanding, it's if either of your parents is Japanese. You know, if your mom or your dad is Japanese, then I think the offspring should be Japanese, because I believe in the concept of dual citizenship or multiple citizenship. You know, that people, language shouldn't just be the deciding factor of where someone hails from. Talking about like Naomi Osaka talked about, I think she should be addressed as an American and also a Japanese. She shouldn't be seen as less Japanese or less American. You know, also, like, I think it's enshrined in their policies or constitution or something where there's no room for dual citizenship. I think that possibly is one of the cause of this concept of half. But come on, the world is becoming smaller by the day, and the concept of global citizenship is taking the day. So I believe the Japanese should start seeing how to let go of the concept of half and embrace people, and embrace their people as they are, you know, regardless of where both parents are from. Yeah, thank you.
I'm RC. I'm 14 years old. I am a high school student here in Japan, and I'm originally from the Philippines. Well, I've been living in this country for almost 10 years, and I know many half Japanese and half Filipinos, half Japanese, half French, and all those half people, half nationality people with half Japanese blood. And I see that many of them are treated quite differently because sometimes of how they look. Since, for example, there's a half Filipino, half Japanese. He might, since one of his parents is not Japanese, he might not look as Japanese compared to the pure Japanese people in this country. So through that, he could be considered a bit different through how he looks or the language he speaks sometimes, or maybe how he or she dresses sometimes. But we should not forget that he is half Japanese by law and by culture. If he or she grew up in this country and he or she can speak the language, we should not forget that he has some Japanese within him through his personality and by law as well. So that's all that I wanted to say.
Hi, I'm Ikumi Yuzawa, 32 years old. I'm working in a travel agency in Japan, and I'm from Japan, Akita City. 大阪直美さんのような、そうですね、ハーフとか、ミックスとかダブルとか言われてる人が私の友達にもたくさんいます。で、その人たちはとても日本のことを大切に思っていて、お父さんがアメリカ、ドイツ、フランス、どんな国でも、まあ、お父さんお母さんの国が半分日本にあったから、だから日本の国がとっても大好きだから日本を選びました、それが普通ですっていう人がたくさんいます。それを私たちが拒否する権利はないと思います。なので、そうですね、ハーフとか言われてる人も、私たちが、日本人として、そして同じ人間として誠意を持って、人間と人間同士で対話してコミュニケーションを取るべきだと思います。なので私は国籍とか、人種とか、年齢とか私は関係ないと思っていて、その人が人生とか、仕事でベストを尽くしているなら、その人は、尊敬されるべきだし、どんな、世界でも協力して応援して世界をもっといいものにしていこうというふうに思うのが私の考えです。以上です。
My name is Hannah Nakajima. I'm 22. I'm a fourth year at Sophia University. I was born and raised in San Francisco, California, but my ethnicity is Japanese. So I've actually been facing this problem for all my life. Everyone asks me like, where are you from? Like, ever since I came to Sophia. And I always say San Francisco, that's my home. But since my blood is Japanese, people just assume, oh, you're Japanese. But for me, I'm not really that great in speaking or reading and writing. So usually I say I'm Japanese American, or even my whole life I kind of used to say I was American. The whole issue with Naomi Osaka, it makes me so angry that her just being half Japanese, no one sees her as being Japanese, and only that after she won, they're like, oh, she's Japanese. That makes me so angry because honestly, for her, I think she's more Japanese than I am. Like, I might look Japanese because of my blood, my parents are Japanese, but I think that knowing the language and the culture is what makes you Japanese. I think it's a really big issue in Japan of the whole like homogenous thing of where like what's the meaning of like being Japanese. I think it's so ambiguous. I think Japanese people aren't accepting. First, it's like looks. If you look Japanese, that makes you Japanese, but then once they start talking to you, once they see that you can't really speak the language, that's when you're like, again, like a second layer of like, oh, they're not, that doesn't make them Japanese. But yeah, for me, it's more like knowing the language and the culture is what makes you Japanese. It doesn't matter what you look like. Even if you're an eighth Japanese, if you were born and raised here, if you know the language, if you know the culture, that's what makes you Japanese.
年齢71歳。職業は自営業です。日本人です。日本人っていうのは考え方として血のつながりを一番大事にしてます、日本人は。だから日本人の血が入ってれば日本人です。それで例えば国籍が日本にあっても日本人の血が入ってないとそれは日本人として日本人は認めない。外国にいて日本語が話できない、それから日本のこともよくわからない、だけれども日本人のお母さんかお父さんであれば日本人である、国籍は関係なし。